Open the EasyShade shipping container and remove the top layer of the foam packing material. Be sure to remove all the contents. Remove the EasyShade base unit and handpiece and remove all the protective plastic bags from those components. Plug the power cable into the rear left-hand side of the instrument and into an appropriate power outlet. EasyShade is now ready for use. Applying an infection control shield. Remove a shield from the package and hold the shield at the top, the wide end. Peel the corner of the disposable mylar as shown from the pocket of the infection control shield. Continue to peel the mylar completely off the infection control shield. Open the pocket of the infection control shield and insert the tip of the probe. Pull back on the infection control shield until the probe tip is centered in the bottom of the pocket. Continue to pull back on the control shield, stretching the shield at least 1 to 2 inches beyond the retaining hook on the top of the probe. The material can withstand considerable stretching. Verify that the shield is stretched uniformly and flatly over the face of the probe tip and that the shield has The EasyShade also has a setting to allow you to create a shade map by dividing the tooth into 3 separate tooth sections: cervical, middle and incisal areas. When measuring the cervical area of the tooth, make sure that the probe tip is in contact with the tooth at least 2 mm from the gingival tissue. When measuring the incisal edge of the tooth, make sure that the probe tip is at least 1 to 2 mm from the edge of that tooth. If the tooth area needs to be remeasured, touch the tooth area on the graphical tooth map and a solid circle target will return to that site, allowing the new measurement to be made. The measurement results from the other 2 areas will remain unchanged. The incisal area is reported to the closest Vita ceramic enamel shade, EN2. Measuring posterior teeth and cuspids, it is recommended to hold the probe in the middle of the curvature. Take the measurement and also remeasure the mesial and distal aspects. To verify a restoration, only the base shade of the restoration is measured in the middle third. A minimum thickness of 0.8 mm of ceramic material must be present to assure the accuracy of the verification. A highly translucent all-ceramic restoration, such as spinel or a laminate veneer, may give inaccurate readings due to its high translucency. It is recommended to use an appropriate underlying preparation tooth colour to ensure the best match. Shade tab mode is used for practicing and also ensures that the operator that EasyShade is reporting shades correctly. Approximately 10 million colours may be defined using today's advanced technologies. The human eye can perceive approximately 1 million variants at best. Typically 1,000 dental shades could be measured within the global human population. Only 100 so variants are considered visibly noticeable. Colours can be clearly defined scientifically through a 3-dimensional model, the colour space or sphere. Lightness runs from the brightest to darkest at the bottom. Chroma differs in intensity from the core outward. Hue, the actual name given to colours, are seen around the external surface. The banana-shaped area is where the location of natural tooth shades are. The selection and reproduction of tooth shades are extremely complex issues, often reaching the limits of human perception. Colours are perceived in a highly subjective way. However, when colour is quantified using numerical values, subjectivity is removed and consistent, reproducible colour is achieved. The classical shade system is a shade system that has multiple overlapping shades, as shown in the diagram. This clustering effect reduces the chances of mixing and matching shades exactly. These popular shades may appear similar under different lighting conditions. In the 3D Master Shade system, colours are equally spaced. EasyShade measures intermediate shades that are difficult to see with the naked eye. Because of this, EasyShade can prescribe more than 81 3D Master shades that your lab can easily produce. In this example, we are mixing 2M3 and 3M3 equally to have 2.5 M3 as a result. Assume a patient's shade has been measured. The resulting 3D shade of 3M1 is displayed with a classical shade of C1. Also recommended for consideration is the shades B2 and C2 in the smaller text. These additional Vita classical shade variants exist due to the overlapping or clustering effect of several Vita classical shades, which are also close to the patient's actual shade, with C1 being the most prudent. This is not the case with the specific choice of the 3M1 3D Master Shade system. By touching the interactive display screen over the 3M1 result, the image is highlighted, changing the display to the visual shade graph similar to the Vita color communication form used for shade prescription to your dental laboratory, which is available from VDent North America and Vita distributors. The resulting 3M1 shade is the most accurate despite the advisory cross cursor being located over the yellowish hue 3L1.5, located at the top left-hand side of the 3-value shade group. These shade groups are arranged from 1 to 5 and are displayed on the left-hand side value bar. On the right bar, the chroma is shown as a plus 0.1 chroma variant, which EasyShade has rounded up to 3M1, as such subtle differences has little visual influence. By touching or lightly tapping on the current screen, the display changes to the patient's actual shade marked by the cursor within the color space of Vita 3D Master Shade system. By touching the lower button on the left-hand side of the image, the display magnifies to the specific field of shades as shown. We now see clearly that the patient shade is touching the 3M1 tab, but is also close to the influence of 3L1.5 in chroma. On the right-hand side of the screen, an adjusting scale shows the variance of relative hues of the 3D Master system. Touch the screen again and the translucency of the patient's tooth is shown. This scale should only be considered when taken from the middle dentine third of the tooth. The result is then considered comparatively to the translucence of the middle third of a Vita shade tab. In the middle of the illuminated scale is the typical translucency of a Vita shade tab. In this example, the patient's tooth is very similar or marginally higher in translucence. This scale is not a recommendation of enamel translucence, but only a guide to the overall translucency of the dentine in the middle third area. This may be considered a helpful tool when determining a prescription for an all-ceramic crown versus a metal ceramic restoration.